Hello! Hi guys, welcome back to One Man's Junk. Okay folks, so I hope you enjoyed that little glimpse into my Remco and similar figures collection. As you can see, it's coming along quite nicely. Certainly my favorite figure has to be that Thoth Amon. What a peach. So while we're all locked down here at home, what better time to finally sort through a bin of random accessories? So I figured, why not show you guys what we got, and then I can sort and file them away. So as you can see, that's quite a healthy pile, and we're going to try and go through it as quickly as possible, and I'll try and make it as fun or as interesting as I possibly can. Okay, first things first, you probably noticed this big massive wiener. And yeah, it's from Food Fighters, so that would be a pretty healthy guess. If you're wondering what it goes to, it's actually a really interesting piece. It belongs to this vehicle. Unfortunately, it is missing the black clip at the bottom, so I won't be able to attach it as yet. However, we will be using it as a finglonger, or should I say a pointer. So that was Mattel Food Fighters. This one's quite an interesting one. It's fairly rare. I have a bad feeling I may have featured it already in the show, but well, let's just do it quickly and then we'll file it away. So this of course belongs to none other than Revel Power Lords. It's all to the same character. It's actually quite an interesting series because most of the characters are two-faced. Now that's not to say that they're liars, it's just that they literally have two faces. So here I am trying to catch you out again. This is actually a mixture of accessories. So first and foremost here we've got these two guys here. These are in fact Beast Wars. That is from Optimus Primal and that one's from Inferno. So those are pretty interesting pieces. This one actually is also Beast Wars and that was packed with the Transmetal Depth Charge. Now you'll see it looks pretty similar to this one, but this one I'm sure if you follow me enough, you will know by now, that actually came packaged with Mighty Max, the Skull Mountain playset. So even though they look very similar, they are from completely different lines and manufacturers. So these all come from the same line. They're actually really useful, really great little pieces. These two guys here, also Mask Kenner, I'll show you a picture of the vehicle right now. This is a great piece right here. That is one of the hardest pieces to find from the Switchblade. Again, that would be the Miles Mayhem vehicle. And of course, that's one of the pieces that does tend to get lost fairly easily. So it is hard to come by. Then this guy here, that's actually a really cool little piece. It belongs to one of my favorite playsets from the Mask Kenner line, and that would be the Collector. So the Collector is actually just a little toll booth that converts into a stationary assault station, I guess you could say. The reason I like it so much is because it really fits in nicely when it's displayed next to Boulder Hill. Okay, so stop me if you've heard this one before. Yes, here we have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle accessory, a very common one. It's the sewer cover that was packaged with Rocksteady. And next to it, you've got the same one, but in a completely different color. It is in a nice pink color. So the reason for that is because that one was actually packaged with Cheapskate 2. And I even found this piece. So that was nice. Sticking with Ninja Turtles, here's some accessories that do belong to the original vintage Playmates line that perhaps you haven't encountered before or you are unfamiliar with. So these here were actually packaged with Raphael Mutaforce. So that's the kind of robotic fighter with the minifigure. Those actually are clip-on armor. So that's actually really good pieces. And then these here, you've probably got one or two of these sitting in your box of random accessories and you have been unable to identify it. Well, these are actually really good accessories. They were packaged with the Technodrome. I think it was packaged with about 4 of them. And as you can see, it's basically just little handcuffs that here clip onto a banister, a rail, and then holds the person in place. Now this is quite a cool little piece, but unfortunately it's a broken piece. So this here came with Black Star, and it came with the Green Dragon, and it actually holds the figure in place. So the figure's torso will clip into that clip and it'll hold him in place so you can ride the dragon, but it's not meant to break off, unfortunately. All right, this is a lovely pickup of Mini Mutants. So of course these would be the miniature Ninja Turtle playsets that were released in the 90s. And what we have here is a little mixture. So some of these, like these pieces here, were actually packaged with the playsets. So this one came with, I believe it's the Leonardo head that opens up, and you've got the sewer scene. This one here comes from a series called, I believe it's Pizza Wars. I'll show you a picture now. This is one of the pieces, actually a really cool little set. These figures here, well, some of them came with playsets, some of them were packaged individually in blister packs, such as this guy here. I have a feeling that this one was in fact from one of the Mini Mutant blister packs. Guys, this piece here is actually a really rare piece. The only reason I was able to identify it is because I've owned one in the past. This is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's from one of the later release original series. This one's from Safari Mike. So it's actually a really rare, hard to find piece. And where did I find it? I found it in my bin of random accessories. What a score. Here's another great piece. So this one, very innocuous looking, doesn't look like much, but that was actually packaged with Small Soldiers Freakenstein. Just an innocuous looking missile, nothing special about it. Well, this was from Earthworm Jim Playmates. Now this is a very special piece. This one I need to give a big shout out to a friend of mine. Thank you so much, Matt, who hooked me up with this. This is one of the hardest pieces to find in the Kenner Star Wars collecting world. This is the stand that holds the Jedi training ball for the Millennium Falcon. Wow, what a piece. When Matt showed it to me and offered it to me, I gotta tell you, it's the first one I've seen in about 10 to 15 years. It has become almost impossible to track down this piece along with the Jedi training ball, which in itself is really hard to find. Here we have a lovely mixed selection of Mego Micronauts. So this fist here was packaged with Baron Kanzo. This one here I'm pretty sure came with the Baron's horse. And these two arms here look like they have nothing to do with the line, but in fact they do. And they came along with this little fella. Hello. Wouldn't you believe it? It's Playmates again. But this time it's Darkwing Duck. So that is certainly a lovely little find. Okay, so these two look fairly obvious if you know what you're looking at. So this one here, you may hazard a guess, Darkwing Duck, no, but then your next guess may be Mighty Ducks, and that would be on the money, that's right. And the one next to it is a very interesting piece because I've held it and owned it a few times. It took me a little while to figure it out, but that is also Mighty Ducks. And actually, if you see it's like a mask that goes over the bill, or should I say beak. Okay, and here's one to mess with your head. So, it's from a line of transforming robots. Yes, that's right. It's Hasbro Transformers. It's not G1 though, it's actually G2. And best of all, it comes from a Transformer whose name is GoBot. Here's a great one you don't see too often. Yes, it's a projectile. Yes, it's a missile. Who did it come with? None other than Mega Man from Bandai. Alright, feast your eyes on these pieces. So, they don't look like much. They just look like little miniature buildings. Nothing to them. There we go. Yep, quite well detailed. The only thing that really helps you establish that they may be from the same line is that they do have these like little bits of plastic there which will hold them in place. So that may give you a clue. No? Okay. Well, this will definitely settle it then. Here you go. It is none other than Trendmaster's Godzilla, and it's from one of the micro playsets. So as you can imagine, these are spectacularly hard to pick up or find. Here's one you don't see too often. This was packaged with, again, one of my favorite PlayStation games when I still had time to play video games. Yes, Crash Bandicoot, and that's from the Resource line that was released back in, I think it was 98. Here's a funky little fella. You may be thinking he kind of looks like a Battlestar Galactica Cylone. You'd be right, it is a Battlestar Galactica Cylone, but this would be one of the more modern ones. So this is one of the ones that came with Trendmasters, and again from the micro collection. But as I'm sure you've gathered, it wasn't quite as micro as the Godzilla sets. Finally guys, this here has been one of my favorite pickups. It's actually one of my favorite things. So if you're unfamiliar with it, well, grab a seat. These are of course Salacious Crumb and accessories for the Jabba the Hutt throne room set, vintage Star Wars Kenner. But you'll notice that they're still sealed in little plastic baggies. That's because these are what are known as overstock. So basically, in the factory, you would have had lots and lots of these additional extra accessories in these little bags. So if you wrote into the company, you lost a piece, they'd mail them out to you, or there was maybe even a mail-in promotion that you could get them. Regardless, they've ended up in my possession, and I absolutely love them because, of course, the contents are uncirculated, unused, and in mint condition. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope it helped you pass some time. Please remember to stay safe. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will be back with a regular episode in a few days. Stay tuned. Thank you so much. Bye now.